Hey, hey, hey. Hey, my group. How are you all doing this evening? It is 7 o'clock. And you know what? Hold that thought. I'm put my glasses on so I can see the comments when they come up. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, y'all. Don't talk about me. Don't talk about me. You know, some of us, we have to put those glasses on so we can see what's coming up. And, you know, it's not like it's right here in my face. It's up and you kind of back over there. So I have to have on some glasses so I can see what's coming up. But how is everybody doing this evening? How is everybody doing this Wednesday evening? We've made it through Hump Day. So we are elevated. We got some hype going on because it is Hump Day. We're at the top of the hump. We're not climbing up the hump, but we're at the top of the hump. How you doing, Ciola? Okay, so before I go any further, let me see, invite some people on just so they can know that I'm here. Just so they can know I'm here. And we're going to get to talking today about our dreams. All right. It is done. It is done. Hey, hey, hey. So, you know, before I go on, I just want to say this. I just got off a call with someone that is really having a hard time because a friend of theirs was found in their home. They had passed like a few days before, and they were really struggling with it. I just want to say, y'all, we have to love one another now. You know, give accolades now. You know, show everyone your appreciation now. You know, while we're breathing, while we're alive, because it's not promised from one day to the next. It's never promised. So I love y'all. You know, it was funny today when I was leaving, and my coworker, she started singing a song, and part of the song said something about I love you, and I said, and I love you, and she was like, wow. Well, she said, love is a strong word, but I do like you a whole lot. And I turned around, I said, you know what? Regardless to if you just like me a whole lot, I do love you because I love everybody. Because God said love, it just love. So I'm loving on everybody. So I love you all. I love everybody. So love on us. Let's love on each other while we have the opportunity. All right? All right. I am so glad to see you all coming in tonight, y'all, to talk about these dreams and imaginations. And you know, I said something to you all today. I put in the comments. I said, go ahead. Hey, Susan. Look, I see Susan. I see Renetta. Let's see. I think there's and Ciola, we had already talked. So I said something to you all today about visualization. When you're dreaming, you want to put that dream in front of you so you can see it often, so you can begin to retrain your brain, retrain your mind, and you know, so your mind will begin to believe the dream. And I want to show y'all something. You know, I'm serious about some visualization. Y'all see this? I don't know if you all can see how much it is. What I tell y'all the other day, I said, I want to be a millionaire. Can y'all tell that's $1 million bill? That's not just one. It's 25 of them. I keep counting. There's 25 of them. 25 of them. 25. Keep going. 25. That's $25 million. But you know what I do with these $1 million? I have them everywhere. Yeah, my kids was asking me, Mama, why you got that play money? You got me thinking it's $1 million on your nightstand. Yeah, for real. No, it's not $1 million sitting on my nightstand. If I had it, it wouldn't be sitting on my nightstand. So, yes. They was like, well, Mama, why you got it? It's just play money anyway. They don't understand. Visualization brings it into reality. So I have one on my mirror. I have one at a job when I go in. So, of course, people at work like, Terry, why do you have that play money sitting pinned up? I have, for real, I got it pinned up. I got $1 million pent up. You walk in my office, first thing you go see is $1 million. And then you go ask me, Terry, why do you have $1 million? Because that's what I plan on having, that $1 million. And you know what? I went even further. Let me show you. Y'all, don't play with me. Y'all see that? It's a rug, y'all. So when I walk in the house, the first thing I see is this money. Everywhere I turn, it's money because it's on. You know, I tell y'all all the time, my 2 favorite words is on and popping. It's on and popping because I'm about to be. I'm gonna have some money. Y'all think I'm playing? Y'all think I'm playing with visualization? Y'all better put it where you can see it. Put this where you can see it. Go to Amazon. Y'all want some money? Go to Amazon. Amazon sells it all the time. They sell this $100 rugs. They sell the $1 million rugs. And I thought I was getting $1 million. I got the $100, but that's all right because I get the $1 million one next. Get the $1 million bills. You get all of that. Y'all better get it. Okay. So while I'm putting this rug up, so we've been talking about our dreams, our goals, and our dreams. And so, hey, Miss Michelle. Okay, I'm trying to put my money rug up. I was showing everyone how this visualization is a serious thing for me. Put it on your refrigerator. I had somebody that's supposed to come on, I don't see her yet, to talk about her visualizations and how it has really helped her and how she started putting on her refrigerator before she started college. One of her goals, one of her missions in life was to complete college, and not only did she complete her bachelor's, but she completed her master's as well. And what she did is, before she even started school, she went to her refrigerator and she wrote out every class, after she did some research, every class that she was going to need, and she put that big piece of paper on her refrigerator, and that's where it stayed until she completed her bachelor's degree. And then when she finished that, she took it down, got another sheet of paper, pinned it up to her refrigerator with all the classes she's going to need for her master's degree. And she completed both. Visualization, I'm telling you all, is very important. Mindset is very important. It's not, once you start to believe things, you begin to speak things. And when you speak them into existence, things begin to happen. And so we start with the mind. Well, we actually start with these. We see it, we believe it, we speak it, and then we work it. And then it comes into existence. One of the affirmations that I sent out, I don't know if it's one of the ones that you all get, but over the 7 days, but in my 30-day mindset stimulators, one of them says that the atmosphere is, not the atmosphere, but the universe is conspiring to make me wealthy. Why? Because I opened my mouth and I said it. And once I put it out there, it's going to happen. And so you have to believe that what we're doing now is coming to pass. You have to believe that every time you write it down, you're just writing down your future. You're writing it into existence. You have to believe this. And even going back and talking about this thing about having your dreams and goals, and where we've always got it confused is that we always put the goals before the dreams, which didn't make sense, because what we did, we expected the process. We were trying to work towards the process and not towards the dream. And so we don't want to work towards, we want the process to work in order for us to achieve the dream. And so now we're going to balance it and put it in order. And so, you know, I've used the analogy before about putting on a blindfold. So we all put on a blindfold and we walked in the room. Some of us go leave after I give the instructions, because then I'm going to say, I'm going to give you the BB gun to make it a little safer. I'm going to give a BB gun. And with that BB gun, this is after you put on the blindfold. With that BB gun, I want you to hit the target. You ain't never seen a target. What is the target? If you don't know what the target is, how you going to hit the target? So you just go be shooting everywhere, right? You just go be shooting everywhere, and everybody else go be getting out of the room while you shooting. That's because when you don't have a target to hit, even though you might have the process in hand, even though you know what to do with the process, you're missing it because you don't have anything to achieve. You don't have that not that goal, but you don't have that dream to hit. And so what we're doing with these steps is, first of all, we're talking about what our dream is. That is the target, is our dream. Then we're going to come back and we're going to set the goals or the process to hit that target or hit that dream, because we're going to put it in order and in importance. And so what the dream does, let me get my notes. So when you begin to dream and imagine, and we talked yesterday about, when we were children, we used to use our imagination. But then we began to grow up and we began to get in relationships. We began to experience life. We began to experience debt. We began to experience paying bills. We began to experience all the what we call negative things in life, which a lot of times not necessarily negative. It's just the situation just seemed negative at the time. But we expected so much when we were young. And then as we went through life and we had these different experiences, after we just did everything and we just forgot how to expect. And it's funny because most of the people that I come in contact with, we all have a relationship with God, and we consider God as all powerful. We would consider our God as having everything, and He can do everything. Yet we don't expect, even when we ask God. And it's funny because a lot of people, I've been in church pretty much all my life. My dad is a pastor. My husband was a pastor. I've been in church all my life. And I remember being in church and people always talking about how I prayed and I believe that God is going to do this and God is going to do that. And I know that God, but you know what? And they would pray about it, but they didn't believe it. They prayed, but they didn't believe. And if you're praying and not believing, what difference does it make? Because you're just talking. One is talking. One of them is actually praying. It's the communication and believing. Because when you talk to somebody, like I'm talking to you right now, I believe that I'm talking to you. So I believe that what I'm saying to you, you're hearing it. And I believe that if I ask you to do something and you say you're going to do it, it's going to get done. But if I'm not believing that I'm talking to anybody and I'm just talking, okay. And basically, all this time I've been in church, and I, if anybody has listened to me on a long term, you know that I believe that I've been sent to heal those spaces, those financial spaces of the people in the kingdom of God, because we have been in church all this time and we forgot to talk about the financial spaces. And yes, we talk about giving, we talk about tithing, and some of us, we've done this for so long, and we've given and we tithe, but we didn't do it, we didn't benefit off of it. Let me say that. Even though we've been taught the windows of heaven will open for us and all the blessings will fall down upon us, that we won't have room enough to receive. Yet, a lot of us never did receive that. Why? Because we didn't understand the fullness of it, of what you have to do. Even when you receive the blessings, when you receive your paycheck, when you receive whatever, what you're supposed to do with it. And it's you might have the 10% that you give to the church. What you do with the other 90%? We got to talk about the whole thing in totality, not just a piece of it, but all of it. And if we don't believe what we're asking for, then it defeats the purpose. But what we're doing And what you're going to do, what we're going to do, is that we're going to continue to imagine. We're going to continue to dream. We're going to continue to look past that glass ceiling that we have put over ourselves because of our circumstances, because of our experiences, because we feel like we can't achieve whatever. We're going to break through that ceiling, because not only are we going to write it down, not only have we wrote down our values and we know what we value, then we know what we're dreaming for. So we know at the beginning, this is what I value. We know at the top, this is what my dream is. And we know we're going to set the process, which are the goals, in the middle to get to that dream. And we're not going to stop dreaming. Just because a circumstance come up, that's just a circumstance. It happens, life happens. But we're not going to stop dreaming, because that dream is still there. We're going to continue. We're going to continue. We're going to reprogram our mind to imagine again. That's what we're going to do. We're going to reprogram our mind to imagine and dream again. And so we're going to have to forget how we feel, because it's really not about a feeling. It's really not. I promise you, 90% of us, half the time, we don't feel like going to work, but we still go, because it ain't about the feeling. I promise you, 90% of us, we don't feel like washing the dishes or cleaning the house. We don't feel like even getting out the bed half the time, but because it's not about the feeling, we still do it, right? Because we believe that's something that needs to be done. That's the same way we're going to have to feel about our dreams. Regardless to how we feel, it's not about a feeling. We have to make it our reality. We have to get out of our feelings and make it a reality. So now our dreams are becoming our reality. Because our dreams are our reality, we're going to continue through that process. Even as hard as it gets, we're going to continue through that process. Let me tell you, when I went to college, hi Shannon, when I went to college the first time, it was when I first graduated high school, and I dropped out because I didn't have any money, I didn't have this and that, and things were just going horribly for me. And so about 21, I dropped out. I went to school for 3 years and dropped out. And life happened. I got married, I had children, I got divorced, got remarried, had more children. And you know, I talked to you all earlier, about having 6 kids. So you know, I was having children quite often. So life really did happen. And going from that to being homeless for a moment. And when I say life really happened. And then I decided to go back to school. Now, when I went back to school, I was in my mid-30s then. I think I was about 35 when I went back to school. And I went to school for another 4 years to get my bachelor's and my master's degree. In that time, let me tell y'all something. When you make up your mind to do something, regardless to how hard it is, regardless to what you're going through, you make it happen. And that's what we're going to get to today. We're going to make this happen. Because when I was going through school, it cost me some money. I had 6 small kids in school. I had a husband that had just had a stroke, and I was taking him back and forth to speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy. For a minute, I was feeding him because he couldn't feed himself because he had lost activity of his right side. But thank God he's gotten it back. What else? I had to work only part-time, making $10 an hour because I had to take out work for my husband to get to where he needed to go. Not only that, my older kids that were in like the 5th and 6th grade were taking turns. They were in the 3rd, 5th, and 6th. Were taking turns staying at home with my husband from school because I couldn't afford to have someone to come in to watch him while I was at work. But I did not give up. I did not stop because my dream at that time was to have a college degree. And not only did I do that, I said, I'm not giving up now. I'm going to go further. And not only did I get my bachelor's, I went on and got my master's because that was my dream at the time. I didn't care how hard it was. And it was like the most difficult time in my life. But I made it and I achieved that dream. Regardless and I know some of you have some of the similar stories. I know you do because if I did it, I promise you, most of us already did it. It may not have been college, but it may have been something else that you've done. Excuse me, a job or whatever. And what we've done is we take finances and we put finances. It's two things that we do this with. We do finances and our health. We take those two things and we pushed it over to the side as soon as things get hard. Now, other things, relationships. Now, we're all women in this group. Relationships, I know most women that I've talked to, including myself, I don't care how hard it gets. You do what you can to make that relationship work because your dream is to have the perfect marriage, which no marriage is perfect, but you want the perfect family, you want this and that, and so you work your tail off for that relationship. But when it comes to eating right and exercising, as soon as it gets hard, we push it over to the wayside and it sits there until we decide to pick it back up. When it comes to our finances and to finance our dreams or to get out of debt because that's part of financing our dreams, or paying off the credit cards because, again, that's part of financing our dreams, or if it's getting that emergency fund saved up, that's part of financing our dreams. When it comes to that stuff, as soon as it gets hard, we put it right over here on the waist side and we pick it back up when we feel guilty enough to. The two things is our health and our money that we don't give priority to, that we need to give priority to. And I'm going to tell you, even talking about the kingdom of God, the two things in the church that we do not give priority to is our bodies, our health, and our finances. These are two very important things, and we don't give priority to them. And because we don't, these are the two areas in our lives that suffers the most. But we're changing our minds. Every day when you get your affirmation, speak it. And don't just read it. Speak it into the atmosphere. I want you all to begin to speak and believe these things because we have to change. We're going to change our mindsets because we're moving from because this is how I feel or because it has gotten too difficult. We're going to put this over to the side and pick it back up later. No, we're going to keep it right in front of us. And just like we work on our relationships, just like we work on our schooling, just like we work on whatever it is, our careers, I'm going to tell y'all, we do what we want to do when we want to do it. It's just the stuff that just don't feel pleasant that we don't continue to do on a consistent basis. But we're gonna do better. We all gonna do better because I'm not just preaching to you all. I'm preaching to myself too. Because like I told you all in the first video, I'm struggling with this with this temple right here because that's something that I put over to the side when it gets difficult. And I'm bringing it back on. And for many years, I put that money over to the side too. And then I brought it back on when I felt guilty enough. But we're getting out of that. We're getting out of that mindset into a new one. So again, we're moving now because what you all have done is you have sat down, you've written out the vision, which the vision is your dream. Then not only did you write out the vision, you counted up the cost. And so counting up the cost means you've taken the time to say, okay, this is what I want. How much is it going to cost me to get there? Now, if I know how much it's going to cost me to get there, now I can say, well, if it's going to cost me, $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 to get to where I need to go. Well, then I might need to start doing A, B, C, and D, which is tomorrow's activity, to get to that point. Now, yes, I want to be a millionaire. You saw my $1 million. You see, and I've talked about my property. I've talked about the land that I want to own. I talked about all these things that I plan on doing. So now that I know how much it's going to cost me, now I know, okay, Terry, you need to start setting aside this amount of money. One, because you want to make sure that anything that comes up in life is taken care of, and you don't have to dip into any of your other money as you're trying to get to that point. And so it won't put you behind, because what happens is, and I said this to somebody today, when we don't have a life fund, I said I'm going to stop calling it an emergency fund. It's our life fund because life happens. When we don't have a life fund, this is just a side note, we begin to use our credit cards. We begin to dip into school, our college money that we have saved up for our children, or whatever. We start to dip into all these other things, and then we cause debt over here, plus we don't have money over here. So when we sit down and we write the vision, then we count up the cost, then we make the plan, then we set the goals. We set the goals because we know how much, what we need. Then we know what we're gonna have to get it together, Terry. We set the goals of the process because now we know what the target is and we know how much the target costs. So now we may not give up on paying off our credit cards, because we know in order to buy this property that we want to invest in, to have our beach home, or to just be an investor into property, I know my credit either needs to be nice and pretty, or I need to have enough money saved to buy outright cash. That's exactly what we have to do. So I know I need to get these things in order so I can get there. Now, your goals are targeted to a vision. And so now it makes sense to set your goals. And so tomorrow we will really be setting those goals, or setting the process up to get to that target. Now, I hope I'm making sense, because I've just been talking, Lord Jesus. Am I making sense to you all tonight? Somebody say something, because I'm just talking. Oh, does anybody want to come on and say anything tonight? You know, I like to have you all on because you all encourage me. Does anybody want to say anything? I'm trying to get onto my computer so I can see if anybody's commenting, because, you know, it's kind of crazy. And look, my computer going down. Just a minute. All right, let's see what's going on in here. Sorry about that, you all. You know, Facebook has been real funny, because what's been going on is you can be on Facebook Live and you used to see all the comments, but now all of a sudden I can't see the comments. That is really strange. It's just sometimes, and on certain devices, you just can't see. Okay, now I see. Yes, ma'am, you make perfect sense. Yes. Amen. Awesome. And I see the hearts. I feel good. All right, y'all. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have for tonight. I just wanted to encourage you all. I want to pump you up tonight, so you all can just be ready to count up the cost, and then tomorrow to start the process. So I'm trying to pump you up tonight. I'm trying to get you in the zone. I'm trying to get you ready. I'm trying to make sure you all get some visualizations. Like I said, my $1 million came from Amazon. Is it upside down? It's upside down, y'all. Sorry. It was still $1 million. Okay, my $1 million, it came from Amazon. I promise you, you can figure it out if you what you want. If you want that beach house, find you a picture of a beach house and put it up, because that is what. And don't put it just in one place. Get a few pictures. Make some copies. Put it everywhere. You know, like I said, I have $1 million on my mirror when I wake up in the morning. I have $1 million on my job. So when I go in, that's the first thing I see. I got this rug. So I hadn't put it down yet because I don't even want to walk on my money. But I got this rug, this money rug. So I'm seeing money everywhere. It's just taking over my life. And because it's taking over, I'm receiving that it's taking over my life. You all open your eyes and put this stuff up somewhere. Put it up. I have pics all over my room. That's what I'm talking about, Miss Michelle. You put it everywhere. Put it not only at your room, just like this $1 million I said. I forgot to do it. I need to put it in my wallet. So yeah, I might look at my wallet and see $1 million there. I'm like, yes, Lord, my $1 million. But by whatever means, you need to have a visual. Put it on your dashboard in your car. So everywhere you turn, you're looking at this dream. Don't take this lightly, because this is a serious thing. Visualization is serious because you're reprogramming your mind. When you see it enough, you begin to reprogram your mind. So take it seriously. Get your stuff, put it in places where you know you'll be, so you can visualize this thing. Also, I did to my Pinterest board. Yes, and a vision board. That's it. And so, and I know Miss Veronica, she's not in here right now. I hadn't seen her come on, but she actually does a goal setting group, and I was part of her goal setting thing last year. And you all, it was awesome. And I got a big old vision board that's sitting in my bedroom. I posted up on my wall. So, and I was talking about putting this rug. I was like, I wonder, should I put this money rug up on my ceiling, so when I open my eyes in the morning, that'll be the first thing I see is that money. But then I realized I don't sleep on my back, so I wouldn't be looking in the ceiling anyway. So anyway, but y'all, that's all I have tonight. And I hope I have been a blessing to you all. And I hope that you all are getting as much out of this as I pray that you are. And I pray that you all are really enjoying this challenge, and that you're putting in the work. Put in the work, because whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. Ladies, you all have a beautiful Wednesday night. And I pray success. I pray riches and finance. I pray great health. I pray all these things over you all in Jesus' name. All right. You all have a wonderful evening. Good night.